Professionals spend nearly half the workweek on written communication, so focus is important. With Grammarly as your AI writing partner, focus and quickly get through work with relevant real-time suggestions. And it works across 500,000 apps and websites, so you can sound more confident and persuasive wherever you write. 93% of professionals report that Grammarly helps them get more work done. Download Grammarly for free at Grammarly.com/podcast. That's Grammarly.com/podcast.
A common sense recap of the day's biggest stories. It's John Catsimatidis and Rita Cosby. Cats and Cosby on 77 WABC.
And joining us now here on Cats and Cosby is a U.S. Senate candidate. He is the Republican, and some new polls are showing he is ahead in Wisconsin. The great businessman, Eric Hovde. Eric, these new polls are heartening. Where do you think the race is there? Because so much rests on the Senate.
Look, Wisconsin is the key battleground state. My race is going fantastic. We're ahead in the polls now just by a hair, so got to charge hard all the way for the final 13 days, raise as much money, get the message, continue to focus, hammer her for being a radical socialist that, wants to literally have guys playing girls' sports and go into guys going into girls' bathrooms and locker rooms, and it voted for all this crazy stuff, opening the southern border, giving illegal cash payments. So continuing to focus on issues that matter to the American people and the people of Wisconsin, and that's what we're doing.
And tell us about it, that she is promoting transgender, or she's promoting what else? Going into men's bathrooms, or what they did in Minnesota? Was it Minnesota? They put tampons in men's bathrooms?
Yeah, that was Tim Walz, who's right there on the ticket with Kamala Harris.
Look, they're all crazy. They're all radical leftists in all regards. I mean, Senator Baldwin, like Kamala Harris, who has always voted one of the top 2 or 3 most liberal senators, I think they're socialists, to be honest with you. If you look at every one of her policies, it's always bigger and bigger and bigger government, which is, as we know, very destructive. She actually gave money to a transgender clinic that doesn't even notify parents. So she took our taxpayer dollars to a transgender clinic here in Madison that's doing that. Just like Tim Walz, they're extreme on everything. But, it's interesting. Her brand was trying to make her look like she was moderate back in the state. But she always voted a very different way in Washington. So, I think she's finally being exposed. And, she's been a lifelong politician, 38 years, 26 years in D.C. as a congressperson and senator, and it's time for her to go.
Eric, we hope, Eric Hovde running for the U.S. Senate in Wisconsin, we need common sense in Wisconsin. Wisconsin has always had common sense.
Yeah, look, we're a purple state. We lean center right, but we have Ron Johnson, one of the most conservative, sensible, common sense senators, and then we've got this extreme left senator and Senator Baldwin. And by the way, you love this. She runs against Wall Street all the time, her whole career, but she pretty much lives in New York with her Wall Street partner, Maria Brisbane, and takes massive amounts of money from Wall Street. She runs against Big Pharma all the time, but takes massive amounts of money from Big Pharma and Big Tech. So she's a complete hypocrite. You know it well in New York, these limousine liberals, they say one thing and do another. And she just fits right along in that group.
And Eric Hovde, the other big thing is also immigration. I know that's something that you're feeling there in Wisconsin. And by the way, your background is amazing, too, with the Hovde homes, because you guys are walking the walk. You take in kids, many of them who have actually been trafficked, come from broken homes. I mean, you know this firsthand, the effects.
Yeah, look, I've spent 20 years plus fighting against sex trafficking, saving children. We have 9 Hovde homes around the world taking care of abandoned children, children that are in the sex trade that we're rescuing from that. We're actually saving kids from slavery in Africa, in Ghana, Africa. And what they've created on our southern border is not just hammering Americans with higher costs of living, health care, the crime that's been brought in, the terrorist risk, and obviously the fentanyl crisis, but they also created a massive humanitarian crisis. They cannot account for 300,000 children. And sadly, I can tell you, a lot of those children have ended up in the sex trade. And we've got modern day slavery going on in this country today. You know, these immigrants that pay the human trafficking cartels money to bring them over the border, and then they give them a much bigger price and say, you know, you got to work for us now in this field or this factory, and you're going to pay us half your salary every day for, you know, the next few years of your life. I mean, what they've done and what the press has covered for them is just absolutely disgusting.
How is this press covering for kids that are being abused? I mean, that is horrible.
I know, John, remember when Donald Trump couldn't account for 4,000 children at the southern border? The press ripped him for a month or two about that issue, and now they can't account for 300,000 children. And has the press talked about it? No. Has the press talked about all the lost lives of people trying to come over the southern border? No. Are they talking about this form of modern-day slavery? No. The press has been in the bag for the Democratic Party. They're one and the same at this point in time. That's why I don't even bother reading the New York Times at all. If somebody gave it to me, I'd throw it away, because what's it better, to be uninformed or misinformed?
Yeah,
if you're
right.
uninformed, you can at least figure it out with your own mind. And by the way, there's a lot of places to get good information. But if you're misinformed by something like the New York Times, then you're always going to arrive at a wrong conclusion.
Absolutely.
So it's disgusting what the press has done.
Well, Eric Hovde, we wish you so much luck, so much riding on the U.S. Senate. And you are right there neck and neck with some great numbers coming out. We wish you so much luck in the great state of Wisconsin. Thank you, Eric.
Hey, thank you. It's great being on your show. Go to erichovde.com and find out more and send some dough. Everybody have a wonderful time.